So Realme launched two new Narzo phones today. Realme Narzo 30 4G, probably the cheapest MediaTek G95, and then we also have Realme Narzo 30 5G, which is again one of the budget 5G phones. So the question that has to be asked is, should you consider the Realme Narzo 30 4G and 5G, and more importantly, why there are so many Realme smartphones like Realme 8, Realme 8 5G, Realme Narzo 30 Pro, Realme Narzo 30 5G and Narzo 4G, etc. Why? Well, this is Prateek, you're already watching TechWiser and I'll answer all the questions. Let's go. First, let's quickly see what you get in the box. So on the top, you get a case with both the devices. Both of them have a similar looking case and it's a bit off-white, more like blackish. And you have a SIM ejector tool and some usual paperwork. And then you have the phones itself. Let's keep them aside. And you get a 30-watt dart charger with the Realme Narzo 30 4G, and you get a 18-watt fast charger with the Realme Narzo 30 5G. And of course, a USB-A to Type-C cable. And let's keep all of that aside for the moment. And if you look at the build quality of the phone, the build is almost the same. The back design is similar, same polycarbonate back, same polycarbonate frame. And I think people hated that Dare to Leap branding on Realme 8. It's nice they dropped it. The Realme Narzo 4G is a bit thicker than Narzo 5G, mostly due to this camera bump. The camera bump on Narzo 5G, as you can see, is more. Both the phones weigh almost the same. The Narzo 30 5G is a bit lighter at 187 grams, whereas the Narzo 30 4G is around 195 grams. And you get a headphone jack on both the phones. Sometimes I feel like budget phones give you more value for money, like you buy a costly premium phone and you don't get features like headphone jack, IR blaster, etc. Strange world, my friend. And you have a triple SIM card slot on both the devices, so you can have two SIM cards and a micro SD card up to 256 GB at the same time. Now there's a side mounted fingerprint sensor, which to be honest looks really fast. But you get it. If there's a side mounted fingerprint scanner, you know what's coming. Yes, it's an LCD display and you would be amazed. Both of them have a 1080p Full HD 90Hz LCD display. And the important factor that you need to check is, are the displays visible outside? Well, let's check. Well, the outdoor sunlight legibility is not bad. For a phone at this price, I would say outdoor sunlight legibility is average. Both of them provide you around 600 nits of peak brightness. And now let's get to the camera portion. You get a 48 megapixel main sensor and the rest of them are 2 megapixel macro and 2 megapixel black and white. Let's just not talk about it. And you get a 16 megapixel selfie camera. Now here, let's go to Baby Yoda and click some pictures. As you can see, the Narzo 30 5G has more natural colors. In this next picture, the clarity on the Narzo 30 5G is better if you zoom in 100%. And when you move on to human portraits, the skin tone is more natural on the Realme Narzo 30 5G. And if you can see, my red t-shirt color looks natural on the Narzo 30 5G. Whereas on the 4G, it looks off and pinkish. Same, let's take a selfie. Again, the skin tone and t-shirt color is better on the Narzo 30 5G. And this is the video through the Realme Narzo 5G, which can shoot up to 1080p 30 fps from the front facing camera. And you can also get an idea of the mic, as well as this is Realme Narzo 4G. So you can get an idea of the difference in colors as well as the mic quality. One weird thing that I noticed is the Realme camera app requires phone permission. And we reached out to Realme about it and they said it's needed for the video call purpose. Do let me know in the comments what do you think about that. Moving on, the Narzo 30 5G comes with Dimensity 700 5G and Narzo 30 4G comes with MediaTek G95. Both have LPDDR4X RAM and UFS 2.1 storage. The Realme Narzo 30 5G only comes in 6GB 128GB version, whereas the Narzo 30 4G will have both 4GB and 6GB versions. We'll update that in the pinned comments. Now for the price, both the specs are value for money. In fact, the Dimensity 700 is a 7nm processor, so it will release less heat as compared to the G95. As you can see, the game support is also good. I can play BGMI at HD graphics high frame rate. If you lower down to smooth graphics, you can play at ultra frame rates. The gameplay isn't that bad. There are a few frame drops as expected, but the gameplay is not bad. But dude, I'm so bad at PUBG. I just died. Now let the device cool down and we can have a CPU throttling test to see if the thermals on the phones are good. Now I've seen a lot of confusion about the CPU throttling test. See, if the graph stays green, then the heat management and performance of the phone is top notch. No smartphone will let an app use 100% CPU. Plus, when you run the test, the temperature of the device needs to be normal and background activity should be avoided. Then only you will get accurate results. As you can see, both the phones don't throttle the CPU. In terms of sensors, I could find carrier aggregation on both the devices. They come with Wi-Fi 5, gyroscope, ambient light sensor and all that good stuff. And yes, the important part, Narzo 35G comes with 5 5G bands, N1, N28A, N41, N77 and N78. On the UI front, you do get bloatware. As you can see, there are a bunch of pre-installed apps. All of them can be disabled. And I also have seen notifications from the browser and the Hey App Store. Now, just to summarize, this is the difference between Realme Narzo 34G and 5G. The only difference is, of course, CPU and the charging brick you receive in the box. Now, both these phones are good. For the price you pay, it's right on point. The Realme Narzo 34G will come at around 12,000. It might be the cheapest phone with G95 as of now. The 5G variant will come at around 15,000, but it will be 6 GB. So the price should be the same as Poco M3 Pro 5G and Realme 8 5G 6 GB version. Now, everything aside, the important question is why there are so many Realme phones? Confusing, right? You have Realme Number series as well as Realme Narzo series. Now, to give you a perspective, if you buy phones online, you'll see both Narzo and Realme Number series. It's confusing for you. But if you buy your phones offline, Narzo series is sold offline as well. In your nearby shop, you will see Realme Narzo series only. You won't see Realme 8 or Realme 8 5G series. So Narzo is supposed to be Realme's offline series as well. But having said all of these, I think Realme should maybe hold back a little and release phones after 5 to 6 months, because for a user who has bought Realme 8 5G, Realme Narzo 35G seems like a better deal, isn't it? Do let me know if you like a video on 5G phones under budget. Should you even buy a budget 5G phone? On that note, it's Prateek. See you soon.